Do you know how to read a balance sheet? Many people who say, no, I don't, in my opinion, actually they do. Perhaps they themselves don't realize that they know how to read a balance sheet. Let me prove it to you. You know, folks, there'll be many, many occasions in life where if you know how to read a balance sheet, it will come to your aid. Let's say in your personal life, somebody approaches you, that person says, give me your life savings. You know, I can give you a fancy 70, 80% interest per annum. Should you say yes or no? Should you say no only because this offer sounds too good to be true and in the process lose a once in a lifetime offer? But on the other hand, if you say yes to the wrong kind of a person, you'll never see your money again. Read the balance sheet, who makes the offer. You'll be able to take a better decision. In your business life, let's say a customer approaches you. The customer says, you know, I can place a very large order with you, but to everybody you are giving a 30-day credit, I want a 300-day credit. Should you say yes or no? Should you say no only because this 300-day sounds inordinately long and in the process lose a big order? But again, on the other hand, if you say yes to the wrong kind of a person, you may not be able to recover your money. Read the balance sheet. You go to a bank to ask for a loan, the banker asks you to bring the balance sheet. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you know how to read a balance sheet, several decisions that you take anyhow on a regular basis, those decisions will become financially more intelligent. And my conviction is you guys already know how to read balance sheets. And let me prove that to you. To prove that, I want you to imagine you guys are bankers and two people approach you asking for a loan. A comes to you and B comes to you. And you tell both of them, bring your balance sheets. They bring their balance sheets. The balance sheet look like this. A's balance sheet looks like this. B's balance sheet looks like this. I want all of you to read these two balance sheets and tell me, if you happen to be the bankers, who will you prefer to lend money to and who will you be reluctant to lend to? Now, if I give you time to read these balance sheets, chances are some of you will say, Anil, I would like to lend to A. Others might say, I would prefer B. Those who choose A, what did you like about A? You may say, you know, the share capital is a larger amount. Reserves are even higher. Loans are lesser. Of course, I can wear the devil's hat and argue from the other end. Loans are lesser and equity is higher because no banker wants to lend money to them. That could be another point of view, right? But this is what those who choose A will like about this balance sheet. Those who choose B will say, no, Anil, in the past we have learned that debt is the cheapest money. The most expensive money is equity. B has less of more expensive money and a larger chunk of cheap money. So the average cost of capital of B is lesser. Guys, right hand side of both the balance sheets is the same. That means assumably the line of business is the same and maybe earning capability is the same. If both the companies earn the same, but if B's cost of capital is lower, then other things being equal, take home profit will be higher. So both of you who chose A or B have given logical answers to support their contention. In the case of A, equity is higher, shows greater confidence in the business, reserves are more, loans are lesser. In the case of B, cost of capital is lower and other things being equal, take home profit will be higher. So the question is, who should we give a loan to? I completely agree that the cost of capital of B is lower and take home profit will be high. But the question is, how impressed does a banker get when a borrower earns more? You are the banker, two people come to you, A and B, both of them say, if you give us a loan, banker, the interest that we will owe you is going to be 100 crores each. A says, you know, my projections reveal next year I can earn 1,000 crores. B says, as per my projections, next year I will earn 5,000 crores. How much do they owe you as a banker by way of interest? 100 crores each. How much can A earn? 1,000 crores. How much can B earn? 5,000 crores. If you are the banker, will you get more impressed by B or no? If you say yes, my question is why? How much do they owe you? 100 each. Is A capable of paying you 100? Yes. Is B capable? Of course. So how does it matter to you as a banker how much B is going to earn? You are going to get 100. Point I'm trying to make is when it comes to choosing between profitability and stability, banker goes for stability. Tell me, what is the difference between owner as an investor and somebody like a banker as an investor? Folks, bankers and outsiders are passive investors. Owners are active investors. Bankers and outsiders merely invest money. Owners not only invest money, but having invested money, they get involved in the day to day running of the business also. And how safe a business is going to be to a large extent depends upon the level of involvement of the owner. If the owner is completely involved, owner nurtures the business, owner takes care of the business, chances are the business will do well and the banker will also be safe. If the owner was to neglect the business and therefore the business gets into trouble, of course the owner will lose his own money, but along with his, he will also lose the banker's money. So the first concern of the banker is, where is it likely that this owner will give a lot of time and attention, and where is it likely the owner might neglect the business? And the straightforward answer is, how much does the owner stand to suffer if this business goes under? Tell me, if B shuts down on account of owner's neglect, how much will the owners lose? 150. And how much will the bankers lose? 700. If A shuts down because of owner's neglect, how much will the owners lose? 450. As against bankers, 200. Chances are, in the case of A, to protect his own investment, the owners of A will give a lot of time and attention, and in the process, the bankers will also be safe. So, in banking parlance, we say bankers love it when the owners have more skin in the game. Where do owners have more skin in the game? In the case of A. Another way of looking at it is, you must take the worst case view before you deal with anybody. What is the worst that can happen once you give a loan to these companies? The worst that can happen is these companies will shut down. If they shut down, how will you as a banker recover the money? By disposing of the assets of the company. What is the value of assets available with B? Answer is 1,000 crores. But guys, out of 1,000 crores, 250 is in the form of current assets, whose realization becomes a bit of a question mark if a company shuts down. And the remaining 750 of fixed assets also appear on your balance sheet at what is known as book value. If a distress kind of sale is going on, the assets may not even fetch equal to the book value. So chances are these assets you may be able to sell for maybe 600, maybe 500, maybe 400. But the liability towards outsiders alone is 750. Every outsider will not be able to recover the money. But you give a loan to A, and even if the worst thing happens, the company shuts down. How much is the liability towards outsiders? 250. What is the value of assets? 750. If those 750 worth of assets can be sold for 600, 500, 400, even for 300, every lender will get the money back. Therefore, the comfort that a banker will derive will be substantially greater from A as compared to B.